Jane, what's going on? What happened to you? My former boss showed up at the restaurant looking completely worn out, a far cry from how she used to be. I got fired because they said I was just riding on my parents' coattails as an Ivy League graduate. She looked like she was about to collapse as she said those words. Her shoulders slumped. Anyway, please have something to eat. Don't worry about the money. I served her my proud pasta. Little did I know at the time that this reunion would become an important day that would change my life. My name is Eric. 2 years ago, I quit my office job, and now I run a small one-man pasta restaurant. When I tell people I run a pasta place, some flatter me by saying things like, wow, a CEO. But honestly, my place is still far from the thriving pasta restaurant I had imagined. The sold-out sign has never had a chance to shine. Far from selling out, I have a lot of loss, and I'm currently thinking about reducing the amount I prepare. That being said, I'm genuinely confident that my pasta is second to none. My noodles I use for the pasta are excellent that only I can make after hours of trial and error. It may sound like an excuse, but I honestly don't have confidence in the appearance of my pasta place. It's partly because I'm running it in a residential commercial building that fits my means, so it's old and not photogenic. But I serve pasta so delicious that none of that matters. It wouldn't be surprising if it became more popular. I'd like to make such a bold claim, but right now I can't even afford to hire a part-timer. I make just enough income to barely get by on my own. Thanks to a few regular customers who say my pasta is the best in the world, I'm barely managing to stay out of the red. To make matters worse, urban development is progressing around my restaurant. As a result, the population has increased, but because chain restaurants have opened nearby, I'm struggling to attract new customers. It's not like I'm just twiddling my thumbs, though. I even tried using social media, which I'm the worst at. But I don't know how to take Instagrammable photos, and I don't really understand how to use it. My restaurant's social media only posts about the opening and introduces new menu items. I don't know if he's aware of this situation or not, but an unpleasant guy started frequenting my restaurant. He's a man named David, who was my boss when I was an office worker. David was known for being a boss that abused his authority even back when I was an office worker. I often got nitpicked by him over trivial things, so he's someone I can't forget in a way. After I quit my job, David apparently became an executive at a major luxury hotel affiliated with my former company. It seems that hotel is involved in the land development around my restaurant. One day, as closing time was approaching and there were no customers, I went outside to close the restaurant a little early. It was then. "Excuse me, are you still open?" I turned around at the voice. "Of course. Please come in." "Wait, David." I froze as various traumas came flooding back. "Huh? Eric, I thought you quit. So you're running a pasta place now?" "Yes." "Oh, would you like to eat here?" "Why would I need to eat your pasta? I don't want to risk you poisoning me." He mocked me just like he used to. "I see. Hey, don't say such horrible things. I wouldn't poison the food. There's only risk and no benefit for me in doing that, you know." Right. "Well, anyway, can we talk for a bit?" "Talk? I can spare a little time. Is it okay if I do it while cleaning up?" I wasn't too keen, so I told him, in a bit of an attitude, to make it quick. "Look at you, all high and mighty." "Huh? Whatever, man. I got work to do." With that, he plonked himself down at the counter. "How long you gonna keep this rundown place running?" I got instantly annoyed. Why should I let him talk to me like that when he's no longer my boss? But I'm an adult too. I don't have time to be picking fights over every little thing. "Thank you for your concern. I still want to keep at it here for a while." David snorted at that. "Come on, you ain't young anymore. I think it's about time you gave up, you know. Shut this place down and hand over the land already. I mean, I ain't saying I'll take it for free. If you don't decide quick, I ain't gonna keep offering a good price forever, 'cause I got better things to do." He showed me a piece of paper as he said that. It had the urban development plans written on it. There was a high-rise condo or something built where my restaurant was. "We're planning to build a hotel-cum-condo tower here. It ain't doing the neighborhood any good to have this rundown old pasta joint here forever, right?" You barely got any customers anyway, so just gracefully bow out now. That was definitely not the attitude of someone asking to buy the place. And in the first place, I have no plans to close up this place yet. I'm sorry, but I have no intention of moving from here. Please leave. When I said that, he stood up, clearly pissed off. Well, think it over. I ain't giving up. And with that, he left the restaurant. I was so mad, I couldn't focus on anything for a while after that. I never want him to come back again, and I absolutely refuse to do what David wants. Still feeling the after effects of yesterday, I opened for business the next day as usual. The words that David said to me seemed to hit a little too close to home. It's true this restaurant isn't thriving. Honestly, it's only staying afloat thanks to a few core regulars, but it's hard to attract new customers. I'm barely scraping by, just shy of being in the red. And the restaurant's old, so I have a feeling repairs will be needed soon too. Thinking about all that, I was about to start closing up for the day. Even counting today's sales, it's barely enough. Just then, I heard the door of the restaurant open. I glanced over, thinking it was David again, but the person standing there was someone I never expected. It was my former boss, who had taken good care of me back in my office worker days. Huh? Jane. There's a reason I couldn't immediately say for sure it was Jane. Before, my boss always wore a sharp pantsuit. She was a superior who cared about her appearance. Intelligent and cool, totally out of my reach. That Jane was now wearing a faded t-shirt and worn-out jeans. Good evening. Oh, you're closing up already, huh? Sorry. Jane. What's going on? What in the world happened to you? Some stuff happened, you know. Sorry for showing up looking so shabby. It was plain to see that she had lost her usual energy. I heard you started a pasta restaurant around here, and I'm sorry I couldn't visit until now. But I'm glad to see you looking well. You're closing up now, right? She showed me that nostalgic smile. Anyway, please have something to eat. Thanks. But I don't have any money right now. Sorry. I'll come back another time. As she turned to leave after saying that, I said, no need for money. I've always wanted you to try my pasta, Jane. Just as I finished saying that, her stomach growled. Really? You sure? I'm so happy to hear that. You always loved pasta, didn't you, Eric? Saying that, she happily sat down at the counter. I promptly set a plate of pasta in front of her. Well, this looks delicious. Thanks for the food. With that, she started eating the pasta. She ate without saying a word, so I got worried that maybe it wasn't good. I nervously glanced at her and saw that she was crying. Huh? Please, don't force yourself. It's totally fine if you can't finish it. I'm sorry if it didn't suit your taste. When I said that, she replied, sorry. I mean, there's no way it wouldn't be delicious. It's so tasty and warm. It just made me tear up a bit. Still in tears, she finished every last bite. I mustered up my courage and asked her, Jane, did something happen? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but I couldn't help worrying. When I said that, she made up her mind and started talking. Actually, I got fired. What? Fired? How is that even passable? Well, there were some people who didn't think very highly of me, you know, saying the Ivy League grad was just riding on her parents' coattails and should be fired. I guess there will always be people calling me a beneficiary of nepotism since my dad was an executive. There's no way you're just riding on coattails. I mean, you graduated from an Ivy League school, didn't you? An Ivy League degree isn't anything special, but since I'm the daughter of an executive, I've always had some people say nasty things to me, like how nice it must be to get in through connections. She gave a forced smile as she said that. I thought I did a good job just brushing off comments like that, and that I needed to work in a way that wouldn't make people say those things. I looked up to you, Jane. Calling it nepotism is just sour grapes. You're so kind, Eric. Thank you. But you know, my dad retired 3 months ago. Of course, I had intended to keep working even after that. But as soon as Dad was gone, they fired me, she said, looking sad. I really love my job, you know. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to call it my reason for living. Having that job taken away from me, I lost my drive and everything. She seemed so haggard as she spoke. Talking with Jane again after so long, I remembered my days as an office worker working alongside her. Oh, homemade lunch again today. Looks tasty. Is it made by your girlfriend or something? Yay, that's right. My girlfriend insists I take one, is what I wish I could say. I get up at 5 every morning to make it myself. Don't make me say it, it's too painful, haha. When I said that, she laughed. If you're skilled enough to make such nice lunches, you should be proud. Aren't cooking guys trendy these days? That's a good thing, isn't it? I bet it makes you popular with the ladies. I couldn't care less about being popular. I'm just making them because I figured I should eat something nutritious for lunch, with my single-minded desire to eat pasta every day. It's all for the sake of pasta at night. Jane laughed at that. You want to eat pasta so badly that you go to those lengths. That's some genuine passion. I love pasta too. If you know any good pasta restaurants, please let me know. When she said that, I eagerly took out a notebook. Jane, what type do you like? If you tell me your favorite genre, I'll introduce you to the #1 restaurant. After enthusiastically saying that line, I immediately regretted it. I'm sorry. I guess my nerdy side got excited there. That was pretty creepy, huh? When I said that, she laughed. That's awesome. I'd love to try the #1 pasta of various genres. Please introduce me using that ultimate guidebook of yours. I was thrilled to hear that. Then, would you like to go eat together sometime? I want to introduce you to my recommendations. I'm looking forward to it. With that, Jane left. Just as I was feeling embarrassed about having revealed my private side, Jane was waiting for me after work that day, and we went to eat pasta together. From that day on, we started eating pasta together about once a week. And then I quit my job, and at the same time, I stopped going out for pasta with Jane. I have absolutely no regrets or lingering attachment to quitting my job, but I was sad about not being able to go out for pasta with her anymore. I felt worried looking at Jane in front of me now. Jane, who had been so lively before, was now depressed like a completely different person. I couldn't bear to see her like that. After all, Jane cared about the company more than anyone and was a flawless, top-notch marketer at her job. Before I knew it, I had blurted out something outrageous. Jane, would you like to work at my restaurant? I mean, it's pretty dead though. When I said that, she looked at me with a surprised expression. I'm sorry for sounding so arrogant. It's just, I don't even know how long this will last either. I'm fine with it being a temporary gig until you find your next job. I mean, I'd be glad if it could even be a temporary thing. My restaurant isn't thriving, so honestly, I can't say work here forever, but if you're okay with that. When I said that, she replied, why do you have so little confidence? When you can make such delicious pasta, what more do you need? I'm lacking in so many areas. I feel pathetic not having the courage to close despite the current business situation, and I feel like I'm being left behind by the world, unable to attract new customers. But even with a restaurant like this, I have a few core regulars who come saying it's the best. That's why I can't just easily shut it down, you know. I felt like I was able to open up to someone for the first time in a while. I've trusted her for a long time, so I was surprised at myself for readily sharing my worries. It'll be fine. With your pasta, it's a piece of cake. Have confidence, 'cause you can make such tasty pasta. I don't need any pay. Talking about business again after so long has got me all fired up. I'll work hard to be of use to you, Eric, so please let me work here. I'll definitely make this place a huge success. Jane, saying that, had a completely different expression from when she first entered the restaurant, becoming the Jane Smith I had always admired. Seeing her like that made me think, maybe I can do more. Maybe I was the one losing in terms of mindset. As I was cleaning up the restaurant, she asked, hey, you got any leftover sauce and noodles from today? This stuff that's gonna be thrown out 'cause it expires today. The sauce and noodles here are all going to waste now. Could I have those? Sorry if it's a bother. No, please take them. My noodles are made with a special method, so they don't get soggy at all. They're my pride and joy. When you eat them at home, just boil them for 3 minutes and you can have the same thing as at the restaurant. Oh, take these soft-boiled eggs too. I feel bad suddenly coming and taking so much. By the way, you got any flyers for this restaurant? You mean like handouts? I have a few here, but they don't really work, so I haven't been printing them lately. Is it okay if I hand these out? Of course. I should have ordered more from the print shop if things were gonna be like this. If you enjoyed my pasta, please bring your friends. By the way, Jane, when can you start working? I can start anytime. I mean, I'm unemployed right now. I'm employed, huh? Well, tomorrow's our regular day off, so come in the day after. Having you here really motivates me. Oh yeah, someone you might not want to see could show up. When I said that, her expression clouded over. Someone I don't want to see. Who? David. David. Why would he come here? Wait, isn't David an executive at some major hotel now? Wow, word travels fast, huh? That's right. Apparently urban development is progressing around here, and he wants this land, so he keeps telling me to sell. He just came by yesterday too. David hasn't changed a bit, and he's the one actually riding his parents' coattails, you know. Well, now the top of his head is shining, though. Jane laughed when I said that. It felt good to have a heart-to-heart talk with someone for the first time in a while. I packed a full set of pasta into an insulated bag. Eat your fill with this. This sauce will last a few days if you freeze it. Please let your family try it too if you'd like. Starting tomorrow, you're gonna be on a pasta diet, Jane, so you should probably refrain at home for your health. Thanks. I'm sure they'll all love it. And with that, we called it a day. I shouldn't be able to afford to hire a part-timer, but I had no worries about working with Jane. And I felt like I could work even harder. Even on my day off, I was thinking about the restaurant. The exterior of my restaurant is hard to enter, and the menu is only written in text. I guess people wouldn't go into a restaurant for the first time if they don't know what kind of pasta it has. I realized I need to do a bit more marketing. The day flew by as I was thinking about such things. But I couldn't think of anything negative, and reuniting with Jane had completely boosted my motivation. On the next business day, I left home 2 hours earlier than usual. It's nothing too difficult, but I thought I'd teach Jane how to use the register and such. As I approached the restaurant, an unusual sight caught my eye. There was a line of about 50 people in front of my restaurant. Huh? Why? Not understanding what was happening, I hurried to the restaurant. There was Jane, in front of the restaurant. Good morning, I asked her in a low voice. Hey, what's going on here? Let's go inside and talk. Actually, there's no time to be chatting. Let's get prepping. Leave the customer service and chores to me. Eric, just focus on making your superb pasta. Jane and I went inside and started prepping. Looks like it went well. No time for explanations now. Eric, for now let's just run the restaurant. She cleaned the restaurant until it was sparkling and perfectly learned how to use the register in one go. While preparing, I asked her what was happening. You know how I got that set of pasta that was gonna be thrown out the other day. After parting with you, I copied the flyers at the convenience store and went to the bar district in front of the station. I thought the discount coupons attached to the flyers might be an inconvenience, but I handed them out anyway. The discount coupons are no problem at all, but did you really bring in this many customers with just flyers? I also had them try samples of that pasta. My brother runs a bar in front of the station, and he let me do a tasting event there. Then everyone was so impressed by how delicious it was. When I said we'd close up the restaurant once we ran out of the planned amount, people started lining up before opening. I guess the line drew more of a line, in a way. You are seriously a marketing genius, Jane. But I only prepped enough for 200 plates today. What should we do? When I made a troubled face, Jane said, that's fine. People aren't attracted to things in unlimited supply. Limited quantity and limited time offers are appealing, right? So 200 plates is no problem. I'll manage the customers, so don't worry. If it happens that some customers in line don't get to eat, we could hand out discount coupons or something. I'll try to manage it so that doesn't happen, though. No problem. I mean, I'll leave it all to you, Jane. I'm fine with you taking the lead on everything. With her help, we opened the restaurant. It was the busiest we'd ever been, and while hectic, I couldn't help but enjoy it. The line never let up, and we sold out with time still left in our business hours. For the first time, The pasta sold out sign I had aspired to since opening was in front of the restaurant. Needless to say, we had record-breaking sales. Jane, great work today. I mean, that was way too busy, huh? It was crazy busy, but everyone looked so happy eating. Even the customers who waited over an hour left satisfied, so the taste is definitely on point. Turns out the only thing lacking was just name recognition. I'll forever be in your debt, Jane. Thank you so much, truly. You're my savior. When I said that, she got embarrassed. You're exaggerating. But I'm glad I could help. It's gonna be busy starting tomorrow, too. I gave out coupons for $1 off it they post on social media today. Look, it's a huge hit. She showed me the screen with the social media posts. There was a hashtag with a restaurant name and an outpouring of impressions. Seeing that, I couldn't help but shed tears. Seeing me like that, Jane said, "Hey, stop that. You're gonna make me cry too. The time has come for your efforts to pay off. It's always tough before hard work is rewarded. It's precisely because I know that tough time that you succeed. So the real battle starts now. Can I keep being involved in this fun-looking job? The only reason I got to experience this dream is thanks to you, Jane. I was just single-mindedly doing my own thing, thinking I was trying my hardest. I was even considering giving up. Reuniting with you has been the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm looking forward to working with you." By this point I was full on sobbing. She laughed. "You hadn't changed that straightforward side of you. It's wonderful." We shook hands firmly. Somehow, I felt like I had found a life partner. From then on, lines bred lines, and it became the norm for the restaurant to have a line. We sold out 200 plates every day, and our business hours got shorter. Word is, we're even pulling customers away from the chain restaurants nearby. I'm forever grateful. Jane and I worked busily every day, often holding strategy meetings after closing. Every day was overflowing with hope, and I couldn't help but enjoy it. One day, as I was cleaning up after closing, the door opened. "I'm sorry. We're done for the day." "Oh." I glanced toward the door and saw David. "David, what brings you here today? I heard you've been doing well lately, but I never thought Jane would be here." "What's this, Jane? You were working at Eric's restaurant. Do you enjoy interfering with my work that much? You're always just harassing me. It's your fault this ramshackle restaurant got popular." He suddenly came in hurling abuse at Jane. I couldn't stand for it. Is this some kind of pressure tactic? You were our boss at our old company, but we have no connection now, right? You're so full of yourself. How long are you gonna keep up this act? I'll tell you straight, neither Jane nor I have a shred of respect for you. You're in the way of cleanup, so could you please leave? Huh? Don't get cocky. In the first place, if it was just you, this place could have gone under at any time, right? That's right. It's all thanks to Jane. The social media, the website, it's all stuff she did for me. It's thanks to her spending her time and effort for the sake of this restaurant. What are you saying? It's all your pasta, Eric. No matter how much marketing you do, it wouldn't amount to anything if it wasn't delicious. David, please see yourself out. This is mine and Eric's capability. She is so cool, as always. She's smart, so she's good with words too. Then David said something unbelievable. "Jane, my bad. You really are a top-notch employee. Actually, I've been treated the same way as you before. I was told I'm useless despite my good education. So I became obsessed with just the numbers, and it became normal for me to trample over others for my own gain. I was being harsh on you because you reminded me of my old self. I'm sorry." "I see. Well, it's too late for apologies now, so it doesn't really matter. I just had a good idea. It's a waste for you to spend your marketing skills on this rundown pasta joint. You should come work at the hotel I work at. I mean, our parent company is the same, so it's fine if you just come back to the company. I'll give you the position of assistant director right now. I'll take this land and you along with it, Jane." I got angry at David's self-centered remarks. Before I could open my mouth, Jane started talking. "Are you in your right mind, David? How can you say such ridiculous things? I despise you. Acting all high and mighty when you can barely even do your job. If I could avoid ever seeing you again, I'd gladly never meet you for the rest of my life. There's no way I'd work with someone like that, and I don't know if this is some kind of land-grabbing scheme, but this is Eric's restaurant. I'm sorry, but I've had enough of working for a company to last a lifetime. Besides, I have a dream of making this restaurant even better together with Eric. So I must decline. How stupid. You really are an idiot, Jane. Choosing a place like this over a major luxury hotel. Whatever. I don't have time to deal with someone so dumb. This was a serious waste of time. Well then, I agree. This was a total waste of time. Please don't ever come back. With that, he angrily left. Are you really okay with that, Jane? Turning down an assistant director position at a big company like that? He was just messing with me, wasn't he? Who'd want to work under that guy? I'd rather be homeless than work under him. Haha. She laughed as she said that. Well, of course. But still, David hasn't changed a bit. I don't know who he thinks would want to work with him after an invitation like that. And then he has the nerve to call it a waste of time. I can't help but laugh. When David came before, I honestly felt down. But it's different now. Having a comrade by my side is so reassuring. After that, Jane and I devised all sorts of strategies. Jane, who always comes up with ideas I never would have thought of, really is a marketing genius. Every single move we made was a huge hit. Both repeat customers and new customers increased drastically. We're selling out 300 plates now, but there are still customers who leave without getting to eat. The effect of social media is amazing, and we got a lot more young customers. Young people who take photos of the old restaurant, call it retro, and post it on social media. It really drove home the point that it's all about how you frame things. And there were changes for me in my private life too. As we worked together and had many deep conversations, I found myself increasingly drawn to Jane. I held back from saying anything, thinking it would affect our work if our relationship got complicated. But my feelings kept growing stronger, and I confessed my feelings to her, not wanting anyone else to steal her away. My confession was a resounding success. We became both work partners and lovers. Jane, who is far too important to me. I want to strive to become a man who can protect both the restaurant and her.